Oh, 199, 200. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hello. I'm currently loving the Netflix series Cobra Kai. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the characters from the Karate Kid movies and franchise all grown up. And it's a movie that I remember watching as a kid, so it just brings me so much joy to watch these sequences run and play back out again as older people. And one of my favorite things about the original Karate Kid movie is when this older karate master, Mr. Miyagi, says to Daniel, this young boy, that he'll teach him the ways of karate, I guess. But instead, he gets him to paint fences. Instead, he gets him to wash his car, wax on, wax off, he says. He gets him to do yard work. And when Daniel's had enough of this seemingly child labour, he kind of starts to argue with Mr. Miyagi, saying, I thought you were going to teach me karate. It's at this point in the movie and then in the show that Mr. Miyagi asks Daniel to spar with him. And it's here Daniel actually learns that through these rhythms, through these exercises, through washing the car, Mr. Miyagi had actually been teaching him karate. And I know it's a movie, I know it's a show, but I love this concept that small habits, that small rhythms can actually accumulate to actually change who we are, can shape us, and can even form who we're becoming. And this isn't a new idea or concept. You would have heard this before, as Sean Covey says in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, we are what we repeatedly do. And I think we all know this deep down. But so often we treat life more like that Matrix scene where Neo lays back on the chair and gets all the information downloaded into his brain, waking up saying, I know Kung Fu. I get that stock trading app, therefore I'm an investor. I occasionally give to a cause, therefore I'm generous. I've got a gym membership, therefore I'm now fit. I've got a diary, therefore I'm organised. I take a holiday once every 10 years, therefore I'm rested. Or I sacrificially like the page of the cause I follow, therefore I'm changing the world. Now don't get me wrong, all great stuff. Actually, some of that stuff would make a great start. But as you know, if you wanted to learn about the markets and finance, that's going to require education. If you want to live a life that's rested, which is something we spoke about in an earlier series, it's going to take going to bed early sometimes. It's going to take a regular pattern. If you want to be generous, it's going to take more than a one-off donation. It's about investigating the cause. And sometimes things are going to require more than a click or a button or a push. It might require a lifetime of developing a rhythm and a practice. So a one-off goal is great. A New Year's resolution isn't evil, isn't bad. But sometimes the deepest change, sometimes the greatest rhythms and practice come from a deep motivation. The type of motivation that says, who am I becoming? What habit, what practice times a lifetime will shape who I am? In a sense, it's about developing or finding the ways that we wax on, wax off, or paint the fence, so that we can over time become that karate master, or our version of it. As per usual in these videos, the library of books that spans thousands of years known as the Bible speaks to this in so many ways. The church I'm a part of is currently actually studying the 3rd book of this library called Leviticus, a 3,500-year-old document that is profound, incredibly progressive. In a time where there was sacrifice of children, where there was war that was rampant, where there was slavery, there's this group of people that have this document that they claim was given to them from God, that helps them reorder themselves from slaves, because that's what they were, to freed people that now were owned and now own things. And this thing talks about how to be generous with those things. This is a book on how to order a community that is disordered. It's absolutely fascinating because these themes are the very thing that still shape a lot of the conversation around community and justice in our Western civilization. If you'd like to know more, if you'd like to dig into that more, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and teaching on that found here. But this is just the start when it comes to the Bible talking about these rhythms of transformation. 37 books, 1,500 years later, and we're introduced to this man, Jesus. And he actually claims to be this God that handed down this order that freed these slaves. Only except now we don't need to look at a parchment or a tablet and find our law. We look to him, how God would live and walk amongst us. And whatever you think about Jesus, whatever you stand on that, you can't deny his ways and teaching was profound. Humanity, as mentioned, will give out of what we have left. But Jesus, focusing on a woman that only gave 2 coins, saying that it was everything to her, all she had, tying generosity straight to her heart. Or in a world where we need to constantly build platform and momentum, that we would never walk away from an opportunity, Jesus is seen consistently, after massive miracles or big teachings, walking away, withdrawing and resting, showing us a rhythm that was transformative. And then as talked about, sometimes our sacrifice is clicking something, where Jesus showed us an example that he would sacrifice everything, and even for those that hated him, for those that literally killed him. These are just a few examples of the type of profound, transformative teaching of Jesus. So transformative that his followers picked this up. His followers, after saying that they witnessed him resurrected, picked up his cause and have shaped the globe like no other movement, spreading that type of generosity, spreading that type of rest and peace, spreading that type of joy in all circumstances. They were known as followers of the way, a nickname saying followers of the way of Jesus. And they changed the game completely. And I guess I've just summed up the heart of our channel, exploring the rhythms and ways of Jesus and this ancient text. And so what does it look like practically? Well, for me and my wife, some of these things might sound pretty dry, routine, like Mr. Miyagi getting Daniel's son to wax on, wax off, or paint the fence. But we're looking at things like not having our phones in our bedroom so we can sleep. We're looking at, you already have seen the video, it's on this channel, but I've actually downgraded my phone to keep things simpler, to be more grateful, to notice the things around me. We're looking at rhythms of generosity, of rest, shaping and purchasing things for our house for the motivation of having more people around. They seem like small, insignificant things, but our hope is that they're actually shaping who we will become. That these patterns are transforming us. That's enough from me though. We want to hear from you now. We want to hear what rhythms and what wax on, wax off techniques are you trying this year? We might even be able to make a video on some of them, experimenting, trying them, finding out how they transform and shape who we're becoming. So let us know in the comments below. Let us also know your favorite moment from Cobra Kai. I'm always up for that discussion. If you enjoyed the content in this video, if you found it challenging or thought-provoking, we would love you to hit subscribe. Share it to some friends or family or some enemies. Just share it around. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.